efficiently.
Okay.
So, we do substituting, different parts of the brain from head injuries. Um, so the people that have had concussions or more advanced or traumatic brain injuries, they love having this stuff done
Yeah. Hmm.
because they said it just all the noise shuts off for a while,
Right.
and they feel like for the first time in a long time that they've achieved a level of calm and peace that they're not used to.
I don't know that I can blame my lack of calm and peace on my head injury, but
Well, no, I
maybe
mean,
it's a mitigating or it's a contributory factor.
well, yeah, my personality changed. I became short tempered. I was never like that.
Yeah.
Um, I have all the patience in the world for my patients and stuff, but when I get home, I don't have much for me, and stupid things just aggravate
Right.
me,
Yeah. Just
and it's frustrating. But that's a result of that head injury.
Hmm.
You
And so
know,
doing this regularly actually can help to.
I think so. I think
Make
it's
the
a
brain
natural
rest.
sedative, and if you're a head injury patient and your stress level gets over a certain point, and it's actually our new norm because it wasn't there before, we really have to pay attention to that. We have to really look at managing stress, managing things that aggravate you. I'm still working on that. I'm going, why am I aggravated about that? It's just simple thing.
It's a little thing.
And
Yeah.
for me, it's not having the agility and coordination that I used to have. And so, I have to work on that and just go, okay, my physical body does not work the way it used to.
Right.
It's
And
not as highly evolved and advanced as it used to be. Um, so what I need more than anything is self-patience and self-love instead of self-aggravation.
right.
And that's a tough one. That requires a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I have to work on it personally for me every day. It's like, don't let that bother you. Breathe into it. It's okay. Yeah, you're dropping stuff, all these silly little things, but
Yeah.
it's just part of what you're dealing with.
That giving yourself that grace.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I'm in that phase too of just giving myself grace. And the head injury has a lot to do with that. Not being able to do the things that we used to do or do them for the same period of time without it moving into a migraine for me. That's when I get into cognitive overload.
Yeah.
If there's other people with head injuries, I think it manifests itself differently for everyone, but for me, the cognitive overload becomes a migraine. And so, just remembering, step it back, take a deep breath. If you can only work 3 hours today instead of 9, be okay with that,
And people that
So,
work with us, you'll see it. You'll see the pupils change in dilation. Might be a little mini emotional outburst. There might be just someone putting their head down and holding their hands up. Give them their space. Give them their space because the brain has literally shifted at a moment and it hit overload.
you're right.
I watched a woman yesterday talking, and then she was being filmed. She's like, "Okay, guys, sorry, I've lost track. I don't remember where I'm at right now. I need a second." And then she got emotional, and I went, "There it is. That's what it looks like. Just the brain shut down." Yeah.
Right.
And when you feel that, just stop whatever you're doing and just go get quiet. Get rid of stimuli, which is noise, lighting. Turn off your computer, turn all the lights off, get rid of all background noise, and just go find somewhere to be quiet and rest. The brain is like a muscle. When it hits fatigue point, it stops at a high level and starts shutting down and says, "I can't do the workload."
Yeah.
So you have to kind of stop and go with it.
Roll with it. The new norm. That's the blessing in the head injury, I guess, right? Is
it's
forcing us to take
it's not
pauses.
recognized in our social world, and even in the medical community. There's not enough people trained in concussions. And so, you know, our kids are suffering from that too in sports. You know, a soccer ball, how hard it is when you headshot one, you know, and it's that brain trauma. Um, if your kids are in athletics and they are changing in performance or personality or their aggravation goes up, suspect concussion. The things they're saying, the things they're doing, all of a sudden have changed real quick. Our brain has a mechanism that puts us on autopilot and says there's nothing wrong, but it's obvious to other people, and some people are a little more observant that something's off there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't waste any time. Take your kids in, or take yourself in, and listen to people if they're telling you these things are going on.
Right.
Try not to be defensive and listen to what they're telling you, especially people that know you well and are not super judgmental. They're trying to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to think about.
Yeah.
You know, it's the reason that football is declining in popularity for kids in America today, because we're now just finally realizing how incredibly detrimental all of those minor head injuries are over time, and the post-concussive symptoms are really devastating. You know, I'm still in treatment after 5 years for a car accident, and my brain has just never gone back to how it was before. So it's nice that we're at least having the dialogues, and we're recognizing it's not a weakness. It's not something you can just push through. You know, those of us that are athletes, it's like, okay, well, when you hit your limit, dig for more.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember we always talked about in track, you hit the wall and then you find out what's on the other side.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way with a brain injury. You can't just muscle through it.
Right.
It's not mind over body in that particular instance. So it's a real mind work for people who are fighters or achievers or competitive or whatever, to actually recoil from it and take brain rest instead of just pushing through.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good advice, and we need to hear it over and over and over again.
Yeah, and if there are any young adults out there hearing this, if you're in a competitive sport, you have permission to say something's not right. I want this looked at, and push for it. Don't be afraid to push. You're responsible for your body. We get caught up in giving up that power to someone else to just keep going. Oh, that's nothing, keep going, you're fine. If you don't feel fine, say it. And you have permission to go, you know, I'm walking away from here, I want to see my parents, I want to talk to them, or whoever your guardian is that has responsibility for you. Speak up, speak out. People aren't trained in what to look for, so they don't know. And I'm not giving them a free ride that that's an excuse, but that's where they're coming from. They don't know. It's your body, it's your responsibility. No one has power or control over that at all.
Good message. There you go. Healing with John. All of a sudden we're talking head injuries.
Yeah, there we go.
And ear coning and all sorts of connections there about how to feel into you and what your body needs, and to advocate for yourself and your health. You always bring some new nuggets of awesomeness. It's always so nice to hang with you.
Well, it's great to be here, and you make it easy because it's just, you're like a lotus flower that just opens things up and let them flow the way they're supposed to.
Let's just talk about it, right?
Yeah.
You never know who's watching this.
Yep, that's true.
You've committed your life and your experience and your expertise in many areas to just being of service to whoever might be served and healed by that. So it's really generous of you to give your time and, you know, your open heart to whoever it is that might be hearing this message. So we're appreciative.
Thank you.
Go out and make it an amazing day, everyone. I'm so chill after that coning thing. I can hear it in my voice. I'm like, and I almost sound stoned or something. I'm like, hey everybody, have an awesome day. But it is what it is.
Yep.
So it's
All
good.
right.
We're going to be human beings today, maybe, rather
That's
than human
right,
doings.
not human doing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Bye, everyone.